going to be talking about margin configuration, the ABCs of margin configuration in RoyalQ. Master the basics. That's today's topic. You need to be able to master the basics, and that's what RoyalQ. That's the basics of RoyalQ. Now, what is margin configuration? Before I start my whole presentation, I need to explain what margin configuration is. I know a lot of us users that will be using RoyalQ, you've stumbled on margin configuration. We always say margin configuration every day, every blessed day. As long as you trade using the RoyalQ robots, you will definitely hear margin configuration every day, because it's a very, very important part of this business. So margin configuration tells the robot how to buy and when to buy more as the market price drops. Okay, I hope we get that. Has to do with when prices are going down. Now, it tells your robot how you want your robot to buy, okay, and when to buy as the market price drops to lower the average price and prepare for a rebound, okay? So in essence, what I'm saying is that you're telling your robot, this is how much I want you to buy, and this is when I want you to buy it. Now, the margin configuration consists of several key elements, okay, which includes the first buy in amount, okay? That's one. It also includes your margin call limit. That's two. And we have number three, which is your margin configuration settings. And in that margin configuration settings, when you click on margin configuration settings, we also have two important things there, two important factors for you to look out for, which is the margin call drop, okay, and the multiple buying ratio. That's under your margin configuration. It's a tabular form. These two things are very, 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 very important, because this is where you tell your robots how much you want it to buy when there's a drop, okay, and when you want the robot to buy. When means the percentage drop of that coin. So if a coin drop a certain percent, that's the when. When do I want my robot to buy this particular coin? Is it when it drops by 2%? Is it when it drops by 3%? Is it when it drops by 4%? So that is briefly me explaining what margin configuration is all about. It can also be termed as DCA, dollar cost averaging, okay? Most of us know what dollar cost averaging is, like DCA, and most of us don't. So that is exactly what margin configuration is. So I'm going to share my screen now. But I'll need one person, just one person, to be helping me to punch their calculator. Can someone, dear speaker, please, why are you not sharing your screen? Of course, I'm going to share my screen. Well, I did say that I was just explaining before I share my screen. So our dear commenter, it's like it's you that I'm going to pick now for this presentation. I need somebody that will be helping me punch their calculators so that it is going to be very fast, so that the presentation will be more smooth. So if anyone can do that, can just signify by using the reaction, so I can make you a co-host and you can unmute. But you need to be in a quiet place, please. Is there anyone that can do that for us? Please use the reaction, or you can just type 1 on the chat. Don't worry, I'm not asking you a question. It's just for you to punch calculator and tell me the answer. That's it. I want the meeting to be engaging. I don't want to be doing everything all by myself. I want us to follow. So is there anyone here? Mr. Christopher, are you available? Can we all hear me?
Mostly no, okay, hey.
Okay, so I want a member that just one person that is going to help me calculate and give me the answer. That's all. That's all I need. I'm not gonna ask you a technical question. Let me try to assist. We have JP. JP, God bless you. Thank you so much, JP. Please, let's try as much as possible to engage here. Nobody's setting exams for you here, okay? So JP, I'm gonna make you, I believe you are in a quiet place, not a noisy background, because I don't want someone that's in a noisy background. So I've made you a co-host. I've made you a co-host, so you can unmute yourself, okay? JP, Mr. JP, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Okay, so thank you so much for choosing to do this. Okay, so you can keep yourself muted, and then once I need you, you can unmute and then speak to us. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now, and we are going to get started. I believe you can all see my screen. So I'm going to launch my RoyalQ app. So for people that are just joining, today's topic is on margin configuration, which is the basics, okay? So like I was saying initially, I don't believe in doing settings for members after a period of time. Of course, when you are new, I have to do that because, of course, you do not know anything. But I believe that once you are 2 weeks in, you ought to know how to set your margins. You ought to know how to calculate your margins with your trading capital. So let's just go for it. I'm going to use any coin. I'm just going to tap on any coin to do the explanation. Let me use a let me use a community coin. The coin I'm choosing actually has nothing to do with this. Okay, has nothing to do with this at all. Let's tap on create, get to trade settings. Okay, so right now, this is where we are. Okay, we are in trade settings. So remember I said that margin configuration consists of 3 things. Have to look at your first buying amount. Let me highlight 3 things when looking at margin configuration. Your first buying amount, your margin call limit, okay, and your margin configuration. Now, inside your margin configuration has a tabular form, which also consists of two vital things, which is the first one, margin call drop. Here is what we call your margin call drop. This is how you want your robot to be buying when that coin is going down, okay? We also have here multiple buying ratio. What this does is the amount you want your robot to use to buy. So for example, if you say, okay, you know what, once I enter into this particular trade, I want my robot to buy once this coin drops by 1%. Okay, now how much do you want your robot to buy? That's why it has times here, and also that's why it has percentage here. It has times here, it has percentage. So it's saying that how many percent drop do you want your robot to then buy at a certain amount? So let's get to that. So let's say we are working with $200. It's just an example, okay? Let's say we have a capital of $200 and you want to use 10% as your first buy. Now, the whole idea of margin configuration is that you are not using all that your capital to enter a trade at once. It's not advisable because the crypto market is very volatile. So you don't want to use all your capital to just risk inside the market all at once. I believe even in any business safe, it's advisable to take it, slow. So what you want to do is to enter the market with a certain amount, and that certain amount will be your first buy. So, Mr. JP, I want you to do 10% of $200. So 200, 10% of 200 is how much? Mr. JP, are you following?
Yeah. $20.
Okay, great. So I want to use $20. I want to use 10% of my trading capital to enter into the market. Okay. Now remember that I have $200. If I use $20 out of that 200, I'll be left with $180. Okay. So 200 minus 20 is going to give me $180. Remember that once you are setting margin configuration, you cannot forget about your first buy. A lot of us tend to forget about our first buy. No, this $20 counts. Is actually included in your trading capital. So you have to add it too. So now, if I'm using $20 to start this trade, that means I am left with $180. Okay? Now, it is that $180 I have to calculate and know how to split when the market is going down, when the market is dipping. That's my $180. I would then have to calculate it and know and tell the robot how to use it when the market is going down. All these things are instructions you have to give to your robot. Your robot is not a mind reader, okay? It's like also your washing machine. You can't just, because your washing machine cannot just tell that, oh, you have dirty clothes and they should go and pick it up for you and wash. No, you have to get your dirty clothes, excuse me, and put it in your washing machine and instruct your washing machine on what to do. How many minutes do you want this washing machine to wash this cloth? Is it a soft, is it cotton-like cloth, or is it soft, or is it a blanket? There are settings there for you to actually instruct your washing machine on how to do it best for you. That's what a robot actually is. They are not mind readers. So this remaining 180, we have to use it. Okay, so JP, let's divide 180. So let's say I want to be using $12 to buy for every time each margin. Let's say I want to be using $12 to buy each margins. So what do I have to do? 180 divided by 12 is what, JP?
That's 15.
15, okay. So where I'm going to put the 15 now is my margin call limit. The robot will buy me 15 times. It's going to buy $12 for me, 15 times. And I believe 15 times 12 is going to give me 180, okay? I hope I'm not confusing anybody. Now, when you get your first buy, you also divide your margin call, you also divide your remaining balance with the amount you want to buy. I chose $12, okay? If you want to be buying $15 as interval, you can also choose $15, but you have to divide 15, you have to do 180 divided by 15, okay? You have to do 180 divided by 15. But I'm going with 12. I want to use 12 to buy each of my margins. This is just me explaining how margin configuration works, okay? You can also use this particular example if you are doing double up. Yes, once you know how to set your margin, even if you are doing the double up strategy or the double up settings, you will know how to do it. So this is just an example. Now, the next thing I want to do, I've achieved my first buy and I've also achieved my margin call limit. The next thing I want to do is my margin configuration. That's the next thing. The next thing you want to click is your margin configuration. You tap on margin configuration. If you see my margin configuration, the last margin call is 15. Why? Because my margin call limit is 15. So automatically, I'll have 15 calls here. Okay? So if I come on here, I put, 20. If I click on margin configuration, I'm going to have 20 tables here. So I want us to understand that part. So you have 15 on here. Now, remember I said I want the robots to be buying me $12. I want the robot to be buying me $12 for every drop. This is, remember, your multiple buying ratio. This is the part that has to do with buys. How much you want the robot to buy for you at a certain drop. This here controls the percentage drop you want the robot to then buy. That's it. So how do I, now, this is very important. If you see that this is 1, my first call in my multiple buying ratio is 1. If I leave it at 1, what it's going to do is that it's going to buy me $20. If I put 2, it is going to buy me 2 times of the first buy, which is $40. If I put 3, it's going to buy 3 times of my first buy, which is $60. But I want it to buy $12. How do I calculate it? Please, I want us, because I think this is the part, this multiple buying ratio, it is what a lot of people do not understand. So I want us to really understand. If I put 1 here, it's going to buy 1 time of my first buy, and my first buy is 20, so it's going to buy me $20. If I put 2, it's going to buy times, that's why it says times, it's going to buy times that of your first buy. But I want you to buy $12. So what I need to do is, JP, please calculate 12. So what you are going to do now is, whatever you want your robot to buy as your margin, mine is 12, remember. 12 divided by your first buy. my first buy actually. I chose 12. If it's 15 you are going for, you have to do 15 divided by your first buy. I don't know your first buy, but me, I chose 12. Okay, so 12 divided by 20 JP is what?
0.6.
0.6. Thank you. So I'm going to put 0.6 here. So with this, the robot will buy $12 for me. Okay. I want all my margin drops to buy 12. That's why I said, if you understand this, you can actually use it for the double up. Okay. Because I already explained this. This multiple buying ratio, how to calculate it. You'll be able to also use it if you are going for the double up strategy. But I want all my margins. I want my robot to buy $12 for every of my margin drop, $12. So I'm going to put 0.6 for everyone. So you see, this part is what you don't want to be doing when you want to enter a trade. So that's why it's best for you to save your settings. When you save your settings, it takes away all this. You just load your settings. Okay, so I believe that we've been able to understand multiple buying ratio. When you want to calculate your multiple buying ratio, you decide the amount you want your robots to buy for you at every drop. Okay, once you decide that amount, or once you get that amount, you divide it by your first buy. You will definitely get your multiple buying ratio. So all these things is just simple maths. You don't just come here and start inputting numbers. Every numbers mean a lot of things. Now let's get to margin call drop. Please, if you have any question, please let's use the chat box. I'll address it once I'm done. This is the margin call drop. This one has to do with also preference. If I want to cover, for example, if I say, for example, in this particular trade, I want to cover a 20% drop, this is the part where I would do that. Okay, if I want to cover a 30% drop, this is the part where I have to do that. If I want to cover 10% drop, this is the part. So let's say, for example, I want my first drop. Let's say the first drop, I want 1%, the second one. So let's say for this particular coin, I want to cover 20% drop. Okay, so let's say I want to cover a 20% drop. Okay, so let's say this 1.5. $2.5. Let's say 2 here. We'll calculate it. Don't worry about that. I'm just going at it, but we'll calculate it and make sure that it's a 20% drop. If it's not, we'll readjust. Okay, let's see one. The first one is 1. JP, please, I'll need you here. The first drop is 1. The second drop is 1%. That's 1 plus 1, 2. And then the third drop is 1.5. And then there's 1.5. So this one is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. It's more than 20%. Or should we do 30? Let's do 30%. Okay, let's do 30% then. Let's do 30% drop. Let's say I want this trade to cover a 30%. This is already 5%. This is 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. This is 24, 26.5. Okay, JP, let's go. The first call, 1 plus 1. JP, please, are you there? Is Mr. JP there? Please, can someone take over, please? Where are my co-hosts, though?
I'm here. I can hear you. I don't know if you're referring to me.
Okay, 1 plus 1.
1 plus
Please,
1.
start punching your calculator, please. Yeah, 1 plus 1
Okay.
plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 2 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 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 3.5. That's how many percent drop?
28.
28. So we need 2. 28. So we need to, let's just put 2 here and 2 here. So I believe we have successfully covered a 30% drop. We have successfully covered a 30% drop. So here, you can see when we calculated everything, here is a 30% drop. And also, we got to calculate our robot to be buying $12. So all you have to do is click on confirm, and then you can save. So you have successfully done a settings for $200 right now and covered a 30% drop for that settings. So I believe I have been able to explain that. If you want to do, let's say we want to do the double up strategy. So let's explain the double up strategy. Now, the double up strategy, you know that if you are doing double up, your first buy have to be, your first buy can't be that big. It can't be that huge, because double up strategy means you are going to be doing, your robot is going to be buying ×2 or ×4 of that particular, what's it called? That particular coin, the amount rather. So let's try to do a double up strategy just quickly, with very less, less margin call limit. Okay, so let's do a $200 for double up strategy. And let's say our first buy is 5. Okay, so if we have $200 and our first buy is 5, we'll be left with 195. Okay, let's see. Let's put 5 margin call limit. Let's go to the margins. Let's go to the margins here. So you're going, let's do 2, 4, 6. Just an example. 8. I know a lot of people, they do double up right now. So I just want to briefly explain this to them. 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so if your first buy is $5, it means that your first call, that is 2, is going to buy 10. Your first buy is $5. It means that your first call here is going to buy two times, which is going to be 10, okay? The second call is going to buy 4 times, which is going to be 20. So 20 plus 10 is 30. Plus your first buy, that's 35 already. You've spent 35 already in the market. Your third call is going to buy 6 times. That's $30 also. 30 plus 35 is $65. You've spent $65 already. Then your fourth call is going to buy 8 times. That's $40.
40.
Yes. So 40 plus 65.
105.
That's 105. Okay. So your fifth call, 10 times. That's $50. $50 plus 105.
155.
155. So if you have 200, you still have space I guess for maybe one margin. I don't think you can even accommodate another margin, because the next one is going to be 12. So it's going to pass. You cannot accommodate $200. But I hope we understood, for the people that are doing the double up strategy, I hope we understood how you can calculate your margins. Okay. Now, if you go to this side, you can then decide, okay, I want to cover maybe a drop of 10%, whatever percent you want. You say this is 2, you put 2 here, and you put 2 here, you put 2 here. That's 10% drop. Okay, so it doesn't have any rule. It doesn't say, oh, your first drop has to be, 0.5%. It doesn't say your second drop have to be 2%. No, it depends on what you want. That's why once you know the basics, you can set these parameters to your taste, however you want it. And you don't have to bank on people. Please, I need $200 settings. I need $400 settings. You can actually do it by yourself. And everyone needs to actually know the basics of how to set their margins. Because if you're adding capital tomorrow, you will still need it. If you add capital tomorrow, you will still need this margin configuration knowledge. If you are compounding, okay, say for example, you make profit and you want to add that profit to your capital, you still need this knowledge, because once you are making profit and you want to compound, you have to revamp your settings. You can't be using the old settings. For example, you are trading with $100 and you made a total profit of maybe $50 added or $30, and you want to compound, but you still keep using that $100 settings. It's not the right thing to do. So you now have 130 or 150. You don't have $100 anymore. So you then have to redo your settings. You have to revamp it. So initially, when you get started, your upline will be responsible for this. But as the time goes on, you want to keep messaging them and saying, oh, you want to do settings. You want to do your settings. If they can know how to do these things, you too, you can know how to do these things. So please, always try as much as possible not to be relying on people for too long. I'm not saying you can't rely on people, okay? You have to actually when you get started, but please, always make sure you're not relying on them for too long. So I believe that I've been able to briefly explain margin configuration. Thank you so much, Mr. JP. Thank you so much for your help. So let's take questions. Okay. Someone says, so we are at liberty to choose any amount as cost of each margin, e.g. Yeah, you can decide. It's your trade. There are no rules for these things, actually. A lot of people just make it seem like there are rules. Oh, your first buy have to be 5 or your first buy have to be 10. But what I would say is, what I'm going to say is, it's best if if you are entering the market with at least not so like a big amount. You can use like 10% or 15% to enter the market. But if you are doing the double up strategy, please forget about percentage, use small amounts, because remember that the more that coin drops, the huge amount he buys. Because you are doing times 2 times this times 4 times. So if you are doing the double up, you have to actually use a small first buy. Because if you use a huge first buy, it might not contain your capital. Okay. But if you are not using the double up strategy, there are no rules. It depends on you. But remember that the more your margins, okay, the better it can cover a good percentage drop. The more your margins, the more it can cover a good percentage drop. And how do you get more margins? Is when your buy-in amount is not so huge. Okay. You can see me for 200 capital. I was able to come up with 15 margin call limit because I used $12. If you were going for maybe $20 to buy your margins, your margin call limit is going to be small. It won't be up to 15. So that's that. Someone says, is there any formula for inputting the call drop, or it is just assumption? It depends on what you want. Like I said, try to come to what's it called, technical analysis class. Once you come to technical analysis class, let's even say, so let's say you are good at analyzing the market, okay, and you analyze the market, and it is in your analysis, it makes you feel like, okay, this coin might drop before it starts pumping back up. And in your analysis, you feel like, okay, this coin has a tendency to like drop by 10% or 15%. Then you can cover a 10 or 15% drop. Okay, because a lot of times when you do your analysis, that coin can go down first before it actually pumps and gets to your take profits. But even though, let's even say, okay, you are not good at doing analysis, you're not good at it, you can cover a decent amount drop. Do you understand? So that even though that coin drops, you are still covered, you'll still be earning sub sales, pending when that coin is going to rebound, pending when that coin is going to pump and get to your take profit. So maybe you can cover like 30%, 40% drop. So no, there are no rules actually. But like I said, if you're not good in technical analysis and you are a novice, you want to cover a good amount of percentage drop so that once that coin drops, at least you'll be earning profit, you'll be earning sub sale, pending when that coin is going to finally get to your entry point and get to your take profit. For the first time, I'm not seeing margin configuration settings as magic. Is entering. Consistency is indeed key. You're welcome. Yeah, once you start practicing it also, okay, once you start practicing it, you get used to it. I remember when back in 2022, when I started doing this, there was a particular video I was watching. Anytime I forget, I have to like how to do the divide or the calculation. I have to go back to that video and refresh my memory until it's stuck. So yeah, it's totally normal if you forget about it sometimes, but try as much as possible to practice, because practice helps a lot. A lot of people feel like when their coin is down, they don't even want to look at their robot, or they don't want to attend meetings, which I don't think that's the best. Please, I don't what you mean by double up strategy. Okay, you will know later. Okay. That's what I just explained actually. Double up strategy is a strategy that when paired with the MACD strategy is very effective. When you pair the double up strategy with the MACD strategy and also pair with whole warehouse mode, it is very effective. So we have videos on that on our YouTube channel. And the double up strategy is what I just explained, okay? Double up strategy actually helps you reduce the average price. It reduces your entry price because it's going to be buying like double of the initial amount it bought before. The previous amount is going to buy double or more than double of the previous amount it bought before. And what this does is it helps actually come out of floating loss faster. It helps reduce your entry price. That's what the double up strategy is. It's called the martingale strategy. I think there is also another method of choosing the amount per drop. I don't know if it's a question. I think there's also another method. I don't know. Please drop your YouTube link. Do we have any of our... Oh, Mr. Ernest, please unmute yourself. Sorry. I was going through questions. Okay, so we can also unmute ourselves and ask our question, please. Sorry, if we have question, we can also use... We also
Hello.
unmute yourself and ask your
All
question.
right. Good evening, Ocean.
Good evening, Mr. Ernest.
Thank you for the wonderful explanation. So my question is this: what is the total number of margin drops the settings can take? Like the highest number the margin drops can.
I think for Android, I'm not sure about iPhone because I don't really, but I think for Android, it should be 999. I think, yeah, that's the highest it can take. 900 and
Okay.
something, yeah. You can't go beyond that.
All right. My second question is this: if you are using a certain capital, maybe 100, 200, 300, how do you choose from your margin configuration? How do you determine, how do you choose like how many drops that amount can carry? You understand?
Okay.
Is there a of
Mhm.
how to do that? All right.
Okay. All right. So when you decide your first buy, and like I said, at least use like 10% or 15% of your capital for first buy. It's good. The truth is the lower the amount, the better for you. Of course, it's like if the coin doesn't pump, you will not make good profits. Rather, if the coin doesn't drop and buy almost all your margins, you will not really make good profit because imagine entering the market now as your first buy with $15 or $20 and that coin did not buy your margin. Immediately, that coin starts to pump. And maybe you set a take profit of 2%. You know that for a fact, even though your capital is like $200, it's going to, because your first buy is only $15, you put only $15 in the market, you are going to only make $2 of that $15. So the truth about it is, in this cryptocurrency business, some people are praying for coins to drop so that it will buy their margins. So that once that coin starts to pump, they will make more profit. Some people are crying, some people are praying for it, you know. So let's say you use 10% of your trading capital. You have $200. You use 10% for your first buy, which is $20. Now you will have the remaining of that amount. That's what you divide by the certain margin you want. I don't know if you want your robot to be buying $15 dollars. That's why I said there's no rules. I can't say, oh, your robot, you must let your robot buy $15 of your margin, or you must use $10, or you must use $20. It's preference. It's preference. So once you get that amount, your desired amount, your choice, like today now, for the example I use, I chose $12. That was my choice. Okay. So you have to divide that $12, the remaining amount you have after deducting your first buy. So mine was 180. 180 divided by 12. If it's 15 you want for the robot to be using to be buying your margins. 180 divided by 15. Whatever you get, the answer you get is going to be your margin call limit. I don't know if Mr. JP can do 180 divided by 15 for us so that we can get like a clearer picture. 180. So for example, you chose 15. Okay. Decided that you want to use 15 to buy your margins. Huh?
12.
Is 15 is 12. 180 divided by 15 is 12.
So your margin call, thank you. So your margin call limit will now be 12. And then you get into your margin configuration and then you set it. And that means if you want to use 15, if your first buy is 20 and you want to use 15 to be buying, 15, how to get your multiple buying ratio? 15 divided by 20 is going to give you 0.75. Android can use 3 decimal points, but iPhone, they cannot. So for Android, this 0.75, you can put that on Android. But for iPhone, it has to be 2. So you have to just maybe do it as a round figure. You can put 0.7 or 0.8. That's why anytime I'm doing settings for my new activated member, I have to ask them, are you using Android or are you using iPhone? Did I answer your question?
I don't know if you get my question. I got what you asked, but my question is the drops. Like how many
Oh,
drops?
okay,
If you're
the drop.
the drops, I like how do you decide how many drops it can cover? That's what I want to get. Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Maybe
was
you're
saying in my
using
presentation,
300 or
there's no
500.
rules.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so like I was saying in my presentation, again, there is no rule. It's preference. Do you want to cover 10% drop? Do you want to cover 20% drop? Do you want to cover 50% drop? When you decide that, then you go for it. You start inputting the numbers. So let me quickly share my screen, just briefly. The drop, it's not something that you have, like I said, like I was answering Miss Ijoma Ann, she was asking me, and I said there are no rules. You can't put, if you know how to analyze market very correctly, and you know that, okay, this coin, no matter what, this coin cannot drop more than 20%. You cover a 20% drop. Okay, so is it that you put 1%? This one is saying that your robot, once that coin drops by 1, your robot should buy. 2 is saying that once the coin drops by 2%, your robot should buy. That's what it's saying. So there are no rules. You can decide that you want to even start with a 3% drop in your first buy. You can decide that you want your second drop, you want your robot to buy once that coin drops by 2%. So what it is saying currently, I'm gonna explain this. Once you enter the market with your first buy, the robot will not buy until the coin drops by 3%. Then it will buy 2 times. Okay. Now, once it buys, if that coin drops again from where it is already, if it drops by another 2%, your robot then buys 4 times, or whatever you set it, or whatever you input your multiple buy to for the robot, multiple buying ratio for the robot to buy. Now, until that coin drops again by a 4.5% before your robot buys again. So that's how it works. So there are no rules for that. I wish I could tell you, oh, set cover this percent or cover that percent, but there are no rules. But I would like to say that if you don't really know how to analyze the market to really tell, cover a good amount cover a good percentage drop, cover a good amount of percentage drop. For right now, coins don't really like drop crazily. So for now, you can cover at least 20 to 30% because coins don't really drop massively and crazily. Do we have another question? I believe I've been able to answer that. What should determine your choice of percentage drop? Also, yeah, your choice of percentage drop also has to do with that particular coin. If you know you are going to trade a coin that is very volatile, and RoyalQ is going to even tell you that this particular coin is volatile. So if you are somebody that know how to analyze the markets and can tell that, okay, this coin cannot go beyond 10%, great. But if you don't know how to analyze the market, you're trying to trade a coin, especially maybe a meme coin, cover a good percentage drop because you know that meme coin has a tendency to drop very well. And also, RoyalQ is going to give you a risk warning. Let me show you that particular risk warning, okay? You'll notice that it's in some coin and it's not in some coin. So you try to trade a coin. What's wrong with my network? You see this risk warning, cryptocurrency trading carries high risks. Basically, it's telling you that this coin is volatile. I'm trying to see if you see 1 inch. It didn't give me that risk warning because currently, this coin of course, market changes. You cannot base it off of, oh, because this coin did not give you the risk warning today, means that it's never volatile or it doesn't move up and move down a lot. No, it's currently at this particular time. Now, when I got to 1 inch, you see that the risk warning is not really there. I believe that if I go to BTC, I will not see that risk warning. Maybe now, because BTC is moving a lot currently. But let's see. Let's see BTC. Because those are coins that don't really drop like crazily. You can see it's not in BTC. BTC cannot just drop like 20% in like almost immediately, or 30% like immediately, or maybe in a day. Or it does that over time. But meme coin, in 1 minute, they can do like 20% drop. They can do serious drop. Algo might not give me that. Okay, Algo is very volatile currently. That's what they are saying. So that's it basically. You can tell. So if you are trading like a meme coin, cover a good amount of percentage drop, please. That's because you are not good in technical analysis. So just cover a good, and that's why you are using the robot. Whether you are good in technical analysis, it's good to have that knowledge. It's good to come to classes and get the knowledge, okay, for technical analysis, so that because it also aids your trade very. You won't be staying too long in markets, okay. But regardless, even if you are a novice, you can still use RoyalQ. You can use it, but once you are very good in technical analysis, you know that that's a huge plus, where also you will not be staying too long in markets. And you can analyze, okay, this coin cannot do more than this particular job. And you can tell, okay, this coin can do like 10%. You can even be taking huge percentage profits. Don't have to be doing 2%. That's why you need to be attending our technical analysis classes. It's very, very important. It's an added advantage and it's free. We teach it for free. You don't have to pay. Other places you pay. Is the margin drop percent calculated from the initial price you entered or from the last price it bought? From the last price it bought, not the price you entered, the last price it bought. So if your first call, the drop is 2%, okay? And he buys at 2%. From where that 2% is, that's what determines your second drop. So if, for example, your second drop is again 2%, if he buys your first drop at that 2%, from that 2% he bought the last time, if it drops by 2% again, that's when it's going to trigger your second column is going to buy. Also remember that it has a lot to do with your callback. Probably next week, I'm going to explain callback very well. Callback is very, very, like it is also important in the buying and also in the selling of your trade. So yeah, I believe that being able to, we would not have any question. So we would like to round up today's meeting. You can also, this meeting is, this class is recorded, okay? So you can also watch it to refresh your mind. I'm not expecting you to understand it like in just this one Zoom or in just this one class. Because like I said, I remember when I started trying to understand margin configuration, I was always referencing a particular video that was helping me out. So today I don't need the video anymore. That's why I would say coming to classes. Once you know these things, you already know them, okay? And once you know them, doesn't mean you don't have to be coming again. You have to keep refreshing your memory. And also, there are always new things. RoyalQ is always updating their app and adding new things. So the thing you know yesterday, I promise you, probably might be outdated. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Mr. JP, for being a wonderful co-host today. And also, thank you to my amazing leaders in the house and co-hosts. Thank you so much. I learned a lot. Thank you so much, leader, with Lucy. Yeah, once you come to this class, I don't know why a lot of people shy away from classes. So they run away from classes, but it is, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why, but it helps a lot. When you start a business, you want to know what you are doing. So do we have any, Leader Ines, do you have any other thing? Because we want to round up.
Yes, yeah, it's just kind of to thank you for your teaching today. And please, I want to remind you, I don't know when you can make out time to teach this average drop of a thing. Most of us are still not so acquainted with it. The average drop, the first buy average, the second buy average, and how it's being calculated or how it's being measured. Do you understand? Please, if you are very good to that, please, we would like to have a class on that average.
The margin call drop?
No, the average, not the margin call drop. The average price. Yes.
I don't know. Average. Which one is average? I'm sorry. I'm trying
Okay.
to.
What are the average price to the current price? Do you understand?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, no problem. We'll do that. We'll do that. Probably in our next Zoom or in another Zoom. We'll do that. All right, so thank you so much, everybody. And tomorrow we have Zoom new user orientation. I notice a lot of you don't like to come to new. You don't like to come to new RoyalQ user orientation, and it helps to come to that Zoom so that you know the RoyalQ interface very well. Somebody posted their screenshot today and their nickname is not changed, and that's very important. It's the first thing you need to do when you activate your robot. You need to change your nickname. So please, tomorrow is our new user orientation. A lot of things that RoyalQ put in place, a lot of things that are added is talked about in that meeting or in that class. So please try and come. I know a lot of you think you know, I know the RoyalQ interface, I don't need it anymore. A lot of things change from time to time. So thank you so much, everyone. You all are amazing for taking out time to always come and learn these things. Trust me, you are so amazing. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night and God bless everyone. Bye.
Good night, everybody.